Before nations, before politics, before race, before religion, human beings formed tribes. Small groups shared identities, shared stories, shared survival. To belong to the tribe was not merely social. For most of human history, it was survival itself. Alone, human beings were vulnerable. Together, they became powerful. Tribes protected people from predators, starvation, isolation, and other tribes. Modern people often imagine tribalism as primitive, something ancient, something we evolved beyond. But perhaps tribalism never disappeared. Perhaps it simply changed its clothing. Today, the tribes may look different. The symbols changed, the technology changed, the language changed, but the psychology may still be the same. Human beings still search for belonging, for identity, for protection, for meaning, and perhaps for something larger than themselves. The tribe tells people who they are, who belongs, who does not. It can provide identity, purpose, family, protection, and meaning. But tribes can also create division, suspicion, conflict, and sometimes hatred. Because once human beings divide themselves into groups, they often begin protecting the tribe emotionally, psychologically, and sometimes violently. And perhaps one of the most important questions humanity can ask is this: are we controlling our tribes, or are our tribes controlling us? For most of human history, the world was not safe. Nature was unforgiving. Food was uncertain. Predators were everywhere. Injury could mean death. And isolation could be fatal. Human beings survived not because they were the strongest creatures on Earth, but because they learned to cooperate. The tribe became humanity's greatest survival technology. Early humans who bonded together often survived longer. They hunted more effectively, protected one another, shared knowledge, raised children collectively. Over thousands of years, our psychology adapted to group living. In many ways, the human mind was shaped inside the tribe. Belonging became deeply emotional. Acceptance meant safety. Rejection meant danger. The tribe did not merely protect the body, it protected the mind. To be separated from the tribe was once one of the most dangerous things a human being could experience. And perhaps some part of that ancient fear still exists inside us now. Even today, many people fear social rejection more than physical danger. Fear of embarrassment, fear of exclusion, fear of isolation, fear of being judged by the group. And these reactions may feel modern, but their roots may be ancient. The environments changed, the cities grew, technology evolved, but human beings still search for tribes everywhere they go. Sometimes those tribes are built around race, religion, politics, nationality, ideology, or culture. Or even strangers connected through screens. Human beings often imagine themselves as completely independent individuals. But beneath the surface, many of us are still searching for belonging. And once human beings form tribes, they often begin protecting them emotionally, socially, psychologically, sometimes without even realizing it. Once human beings identify with a tribe, the mind often begins dividing the world into two categories: us and them. The human brain constantly searches for patterns, familiarity, signals, sameness, difference. Long before modern civilization, these instincts may have helped human beings quickly determine friend, foe, ally, or threat. Psychologists often refer to this tendency as in-group bias. Human beings naturally tend to favor groups they identify with, even when those groups are formed arbitrarily. The tribe becomes emotionally connected to identity itself. The tribe gives people a sense of belonging, identity, safety, meaning, and emotional validation. To defend the tribe can begin to feel like defending oneself. And once identity becomes attached to the tribe, disagreement can feel personal. Difference can begin to feel threatening. Criticism of the group can feel like criticism of the self. This may help explain why human beings sometimes defend ideas, groups, or narratives, even when evidence challenges them. Because in many cases, the debate is no longer purely intellectual. It becomes emotional. The modern world often presents itself as hyper-rational, but beneath the surface, many conflicts may still be driven by ancient tribal instincts wearing modern clothing. Yet, tribalism is not entirely destructive. Human beings often need connection, community, shared identity, shared purpose. The tribe can heal, but it can also divide. Perhaps the greatest danger is not that human beings form tribes. Perhaps the danger begins when people stop examining them, when loyalty replaces thought, when identity replaces truth, when belonging becomes more important than understanding. Because once human beings divide the world into us and them, fear often follows close behind. Human beings are naturally drawn toward familiarity. Familiar faces, familiar language, familiar behavior, familiar beliefs. And throughout history, unfamiliarity often carried risk. For early humans, the unknown could mean danger, disease, violence, competition for resources, or death. Caution became adaptive. The human brain often attempts to reduce uncertainty as quickly as possible. And one of the fastest ways to do this is through categorization. We simplify people, groups, behaviors, appearances, sometimes consciously, sometimes automatically. Human beings often make assumptions within seconds based on appearance, accent, clothing, behavior, symbols, group affiliation, long before deeper understanding ever begins. And when fear combines with narrative, entire groups can begin viewing one another through distortion, not as individuals, but as symbols. Modern media can intensify tribal fear dramatically because fear captures attention, outrage captures attention, conflict captures attention. And the more emotionally activated people become, the more difficult nuanced thinking often becomes. Fear spreads quickly inside tribes, especially when reinforced repeatedly. Eventually, people may begin reacting not to reality itself, but to simplified narratives about reality. Yet most human beings are more complicated than the tribes they belong to, more complicated than the labels placed upon them, more complicated than the fears projected onto them. Perhaps one of the deepest tensions in human history is the conflict between our need for belonging and our fear of what feels unfamiliar. Because tribes often unite people internally by defining something externally. And sometimes the line between identity and division becomes difficult to see. Modern tribes are no longer limited by geography. Human beings can now organize themselves around beliefs, politics, race, religion, nationality, culture, ideology, and even algorithms. For much of human history, tribes were inherited physically. Today, many tribes are inherited digitally. Technology did not eliminate tribalism. In many ways, it accelerated it. Modern platforms reward attention, emotional reaction, outrage, conflict, and tribes generate all four. The more a person engages emotionally with a tribe, the more modern systems often reinforce that engagement. Repeated messages, repeated narratives, repeated enemies, repeated identities. Eventually, identity itself can begin forming inside the tribe. Not merely what people believe, but how they see themselves. Human beings are influenced constantly by the environments surrounding them. Family, culture, media, education, religion, social groups, algorithms. And over time, people may begin internalizing identities they did not consciously create. Sometimes identities are inherited, sometimes chosen, and sometimes they are socially projected onto people from the outside. And eventually, people may begin carrying two identities simultaneously. The identity they feel internally and the identity society projects onto them externally. Sometimes those identities align, sometimes they clash violently. Perhaps this is why questions of identity become so emotionally charged. Because identity is rarely just intellectual. It becomes psychological, social, emotional, existential. Human beings don't merely defend ideas. They often defend who they believe themselves to be. And perhaps modern society hasn't eliminated tribalism at all. Maybe it has simply multiplied the number of tribes competing for the human mind. Which raises another question. If human beings are shaped so deeply by tribes, how much of what we call identity was truly chosen? Tribes aren't inherently evil. In many ways, tribes helped human beings survive emotionally as much as physically. They created belonging, shared meaning, shared protection, shared identity. Human beings often suffer deeply in isolation, and tribes can provide support, structure, emotional grounding. and purpose. Sometimes the tribe becomes family itself. A lot of people don't simply join tribes because they're manipulated. Often they're searching for a connection. Human beings want to feel seen and valued, understood, accepted. And tribes can offer all four. But belonging can also become powerful leverage. Because once identity becomes attached to the tribe, fear of losing the tribe can become fear of losing oneself. Human beings often fear social rejection intensely, sometimes more than truth itself. Because exclusion once carried catastrophic consequences. And maybe some part of the human mind still remembers that. This is where tribes can become dangerous. When loyalty becomes more important than honesty, when questioning the group becomes betrayal, when disagreement becomes exile. Throughout history, tribes have inspired courage, sacrifice, loyalty, and extraordinary acts of love. But tribes have also inspired hatred, violence, oppression, and destruction. Because tribes magnify human nature, the good and the bad. Perhaps the problem is not that human beings form tribes. Perhaps the problem begins when the tribe becomes more important than humanity itself. When protecting identity becomes more important than understanding reality, when belonging becomes more important than truth. Because every tribe tells a story about who belongs, who doesn't, and what must be defended. And perhaps one of the most difficult things a human being can do is step outside the tribe long enough to examine it clearly. Human beings long for connection, for belonging, for identity, for meaning. And maybe that longing will never disappear. Every tribe offers something: a story, a worldview, a sense of us, a place to stand in a confusing world. But maybe there's another question human beings rarely ask themselves. Did I choose this tribe consciously, or did I inherit it unconsciously? Many identities are inherited long before they're examined. Through family, culture, environment, education, media, geography, language. Sometimes, before a person is even old enough to question them. And eventually, some people may begin questioning the tribe itself, the beliefs, the narratives, the identity. And that process can feel deeply unsettling. Because questioning the tribe can sometimes feel like questioning yourself, your family, your community, your history, your identity. And many people would rather protect certainty than confront complexity. Yet beneath every tribe, there's still something fundamentally human: fear, hope, love, loneliness, meaning, survival. Maybe tribes themselves are not the true problem. Perhaps the danger begins when human beings become completely consumed by them. When identity becomes inflexible, when belonging replaces understanding, when loyalty replaces truth. Because the tribes we refuse to examine may ultimately become the ones that control us. And perhaps one of the most important questions humanity can ask is not, do we have tribes? But whether we are aware of them while they shape the way we see the world.